Welcome to Google Forms. I'm just going to walk you through the basics to create surveys and quizzes. There is a lot more you can do with forms once you start feeling a little bit more comfortable. I begin by opening Forms. You can see the link on slides or type it in the search box and you'll have something that looks like this come up. Then in the Start New section, click on a blank form. You can use some of the preset ones, but I prefer doing the settings myself. The first thing I do when I open a new form is I give it a title. To do this, you just click on the title in the upper right-hand corner and type it in. Once you type it in there, it will automatically appear on the form itself. At this point, before I do anything else, I always change my settings based on what I want to do. So to do that, you go up to the settings icon, and this screen will come up. For a simple survey, you just have to make some choices on this first general screen and then the second presentation tab. I almost always collect usernames unless I want it to be anonymous. You can limit your responses if you'd like, if you only want them to do this once. You can also give them the option to edit the response and see the summary of everyone's responses. And that's all just a personal preference based on what you want to do. In the presentation tab, this just gives you choices on how students will see a survey and questions. For a survey, at this point, once you make your choices here, you would click save and go on to write your questions like normal. But I want to talk a little bit more today about using forms for quizzes. So that is the last tab. This is new to Forms, and it's really nice for entrance and exit tickets, quizzes, and other assessments or practice. To make it a quiz, move the slider so it becomes purple to make the form a quiz. Then you can choose your preferences depending on your purpose. The release grade section determines when they will see their score. You can have them see their score immediately after they submit their quiz, or you can have them see it later on after you manually review it. This is really useful if you are going to be asking questions that are a short answer or a longer response that you yourself will have to go in and grade. That would be a good time to use this. But if you're doing something where it's just multiple choice type questions and they'll be able to submit and see those responses right away if you do this option. The respondent can see section basically determines what feedback they are going to be automatically given when they receive their survey or their quiz results. So they can see their missed questions, correct answers, and point values. I'm going to set this up as a quiz and show you how to create answers, questions, and explanations. So you just click save when you're ready to go. For the form description, I use this mainly for instructions for the quiz or the first section. There are lots of different types of questions that you can ask. I always start with questions for the class period and the first and last name of my students as just identifiers for them. And then you would just, if you did those in short answer, then they wouldn't be graded and it shouldn't mess up any of the students' scores. Or if you just don't put an answer key or if you apply 0 points to it, then you won't have to worry about them losing points for not putting the correct period in. Once you get those identifiers taken care of, you can create any other type of question. The 3 types that Google will grade for you based on your key are multiple choice, checkboxes, and drop-down. All of the other types of questions will have to be graded by you and added to the score after. So it just depends on what kind of question you want to write. Once you select your question type, you write in your question and the options, and it's a pretty simple just click to add options and type them in. Once you have your question and options, you can click down here on answer key to select the correct option. You'll click the correct option here, and then don't forget to give it a point value if you want it to count. If you don't give it any sort of point value, then the question won't count in the score that Forms will automatically create for you. You can also add answer feedback or explanations for right or wrong answers to help kids understand their mistakes. Once you finish your first question, you click the plus button, and that will give you the opportunity to create your next question. And you can choose your question type and move on. There's another little button right here called Add Section. When you click on this, it gives you another section with another place to describe and a place to give it a title. This is really nice if you want to break it up and you have different sections of a test. So, part 1, you would want to have them do this. Part 2 would be this. And it actually splits it up among the pages as well. Once you are finished with your quiz and you've created all your questions, you can click on the preview, and you can even take your quiz and make sure that everything is working the way you want it to. And you'll notice when you have a second section, you'll have a next button, and that next button will take you to that next section. And obviously I don't have any questions in there, so it's not doing much for us. Once you preview, you can go back to your form. You can change the theme and colors. The colors are here, and then they have more themes on this button. And then at this point, once you've made sure you've got everything you need and you're ready to share with your students, you click the send button, and then click on the link icon. And then you can copy and paste this link into your Google Classroom in either an announcement or an assignment. And then all the students will have to do is click on the link, and it will take them to the quiz to complete. And you would do the same steps for a survey. You just wouldn't have the answer key option. That portion of the question would not be there. It would just be a question with some options. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the presenters or email me. Also, check out YouTube and Google Help. I put some web links on the slides. They have tons of videos and tutorials. Google Forms is pretty easy to use, but it does just take a little bit of experimenting and playing with to get it to do what you want to do. So good luck, and again, let me know if you have any questions.